Hey guys, X here. Welcome back to our next episode of American Truck Simulator, the new flagship series here on this channel. So today we're gonna do the fun stuff. We're gonna take our first trip here. So we are currently in Elko, Nevada, and we're gonna be doing a little short trip down to Ely, Nevada, or Ellie, or however you say it. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so that's going to be our first trip. And this one, the way everything laid out, actually quite a few things happened that I really love. So that way we can highlight it and kind of show you what we're going to do here. So the first thing that we got to do first is pick our skills. So I was kind of thinking hard and long about this, and I'm thinking, honestly, I want to do not so much long distance because I really want to highlight a lot of the different load types and trailers that we have new to this game. So we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to try to fill out our all of our hazmat certifications up here. Alright, so we're going to get this knocked out of the way, the hazardous cargo. And oh yeah, so one thing I wanted to show you guys, so you can see here I already have $19,000. There is no cheating in this game. We're running everything straight legit, so I just want to show you the bank here. Yeah, I have a lot of loans out. So when you first do this, you will actually have $130,000 you can take out at once to buy your first truck, and that is exactly what I did. So if you're wondering why we had so much money to begin with, that's why right there. And you could be darn sure, especially these lower ones with 23% interest, yeah, we're going to get those paid off as soon as we can. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head out to our first load from Elko to Ely, and we're going to hit on a couple of different things that I really wanted to highlight. Alright, so first things, like I was saying in the last episode, you know, we have the back window, and use it. I highly recommend you use it. It's really nice. So here's some things that SCS did in this game that I think is really interesting. So some of the words that or complaints that we got from this game was that hooking up to a trailer is like your first moment of excitement, you know, then you head out on the long road, however long it is, and then you get a little bit of excitement when you get to drop off your trailer. Alright, so SCS heard this and they collaborated and they came up with a really great way to kind of make it more engaging and more entertaining, right? And one of the ways that they did it now is you're going to find out here that a lot of the ways that you hook up, it's not going to be like this one where it's a straight back, I'm able to come up, hook up right to the trailer and get ready to go. There's going to be times when you're going to have to hook up to your trailer 90 degrees and figure out how to get out there. So it may take you, you know, a good 5-10 minutes just to get out of the loading yard that you're in, doing some tight maneuvers just to get it out, right? And then now whenever you go to your destination, right, the map planner is always going to, your GPS is always going to give you the shortest route. So you can see right here, you know, this is the shortest route to get from Elko to Ellie, or however you say it. But now here's the kicker, right? The shortest route may not always be the best route. Alright, so to kind of give you guys a little teaser, especially over here on what we call the coastal highway, right? A lot of these roads up here may be shorter to get to your destination, but I'll tell you what, with some of the trailers in this game, either you better be a very skilled driver or you're just not going to be able to make some of them roads. So the importance of this is you actually are going to have to do some trip planning now, just like all of us wheel truckers got to do. Alright, so in this case we have a very basic run, Elko to Ely. I can see here we're going to be taking the 80 down to the 93 and pulling right into LE, and that's a perfect route, and we have a standard trailer so we could take this no problem. Alright, so when we come back out here, right, first the trailer that we have here is going to be, it's an MNT trailer. I had to take it for the first draw, you know, for my brothers over at MNT. Right, but now here's the thing that I wanted to highlight. Alright, so as we look over here, you can see we already got two different trailer lengths. So me and the one right next to us were the same length. These are your standard 53-foot trailers. If you look a little further down there, we have the Walbert trailer, which is red, white, and blue, right? And that's going to be your standard 25-foot trailer. Alright, so just a little bit over half of these. Right, so driving that 25-foot trailer is just like driving a car. You don't have to worry much about taking a turn wide and whatnot. 53-foot trailer, keep in mind now you're already about 10 feet longer than the standard trailer length over in Europe. So now, aside from having a wider wheelbase and a longer trailer, you're really going to have to figure out how to negotiate these turns. And I will go over some of these techniques, you know, button hook, reverse button hooks and stuff like that as we go on and drive. But now, to add a little element and challenge to the game, if you will, if we look over here, we see the standard 25-foot trailer, but then we see that one next to it, the Warbird, red, white, and blue. And the first thing you should notice here is the lines on the trailer here are just before the yellow markers on the ground. And you look over there, and pretty much where the landing gear, the front posts that support the trailer are, is where the front of our trailer is. So you have about 10 more feet on those trailers, 65-foot trailers. So now, when you negotiate these turns with those trailers, you now have a longer wheelbase, which gets longer when you put that sleeper on there, right? A longer wheelbase with a longer trailer coming down some of these one-lane roads. Better have some driving skills behind you. If not, you will get them. So that's one of the things that ETS added here that I thought was just absolutely phenomenal. And things like the details, you know, you don't have just one refrigerated trailer like we have. So we're actually hooked up to the newer variant, but if you look over to the right, that one with the black and white, that's actually the older style carrier refrigeration units that we used. Alright, so we're here on the first load. We got our MNT trucker trailer loaded up. Inside, everything looks great. We got our route programmed. So for the purposes of this, we're not going to use our low one here on the lower right. We're going to go ahead and just stick with the one that's built into the navigation there. Alright, all of our mirrors look good. We look great, and I think we're going to be ready to roll off. So, and then again, I just love this view starting out because right across the way there, we got more of our MNT trailers that just look outstanding. Alright, so let's go ahead and get her done. So here's the way that I kind of wanted to break down these series and how they're going to work. Right, actually, I'll tell you here in a second. Let's go ahead and get moved down the road here. Alright, yeah, so later on I'm going to do an offshoot with like tutorials on how to do some of these, you know, these more advanced maneuvers here. You know, as far as backing, because we'll get into that. So like Eric, I was saying earlier, you know, when you get into these trucks with these longer trailers, you know, that's going to keep you entertained while you're on the road, you know, trying to negotiate turns and stuff with that. But then on top of that, now when you get to your final destination, you're going to have 3 choices every single time, right? So your first one is what I call easy. And what easy is, well, it's not even easy, as it's nothing. You have the ability to skip parking just like you normally did in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Alright, so what your second one is what I would like to call easy. So it's going to be in the middle of the 3 options that you're going to get when you get to your final destination. And what it is there's no backing involved. You're just going to be able to jump straight in there and pull forward and, you know, somewhere in the yard and be able to deliver your load. And then the final one is going to be either a medium or a hard, and you'll know this because your easy will give you 15 experience points, your medium will give you 40 or 45, somewhere in there, and then your hard will give you 90. So if your top one says 90 experience points, you better be sure that, you know, you're going to have some serious stuff going on. So the way that I kind of picked up on here is, so your mediums is going to involve 1 advanced backing maneuver. Alright, so that's whether you're doing a side back, a blind side back, a close proximity where you're not going to have that much room to maneuver. Right, so that's going to be your mediums. Your hards are going to involve 2 or more advanced backing maneuvers, which means you may have a tight area around, you know, with 2, like a U almost, that you're going to have to back into. Hold on here, let me go ahead and get my off track and make sure it's good here. Trucker definition for you: off tracking. Off tracking is defined as the area that the trailer covers that the tractor doesn't. So, you know, so when you're turning and it tell you got to make your turns wide, that's because you have greater off tracking. Alright, where were we talking before that? Oh yeah, so your last one. So it's almost like backing up around a U. Alright. So same thing here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to slow her down here so we can take these turns. And these are what it looks like here in America in real life. And you can be sure whenever we're driving, we're always hanging out of our windows to make sure that, you know, our off tracking is good and our trailers are clear. Alright, so the next thing I want to hit on here, like you may have just seen there in front of us on the oncoming traffic, is the, and here they go, police! That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have police in the game. Alright, and I think this was absolutely fantastic that they incorporated this in the game. Because the one thing that really struck me odd, and it's because I'm from here in America, was that in Euro Truck Simulator 2, I guess in Europe they use speed boxes, or, you know, the photo radars for tickets, and we hardly ever use those here in America, especially on the highways. They got some vans that you could take out there or whatnot, and that's pretty much the end of it. So what they did here is they incorporated police. So now, you know, you can go speeding. Let me see. Okay, that's just off ramp. You can go speeding down the road, and that'll be fine, and you will not get a ticket until you come within the line of sight of one of these cops. Now, these cops are not always going to be driving down the road. They do set up speed traps on the side. You know, so if you're speeding and you get busted, you're going to see them red and blue lights in your rear view mirrors, and you're going to get that ticket. So I thought that was a very, very good touch, and that's one way that this game is really going to set itself aside from Euro Truck Simulator 2. You know, so now you have that whole unique thing you got to deal with. Now other things too are speed limits. So fortunately we're not making a run into California now because Colorado has the god-awful speed limit of double nickels. Alright, trucker definition for you. Double nickels means 55 miles an hour. Nickel being the 5-cent US currency. Yes! Alright. So another thing here, you're going to see on our right here, we have our way station bypass service. Alright, so what this is, right, is you're going to have to, we're going to stop here and evaluate this. Alright, so right now we're loaded, right? So we have to come over to this one on the right. Okay, so when you pull up, right, there's usually a set of instructions that you're going to have to follow to get into these, right? And what these are is that we have regulations here to make sure that we're within compliance, right? So we can't be over 80,000 pounds, right? So what you got to do is you have to come in and you have to stop and check in. And these the Department of Transportation officers are just going to check your weight. They're going to also make sure that you have your fuel tax stickers and everything is in order. So we come up here, we see the sign here on the left is telling us to go ahead and stop. Alright, so now we have to submit to the inspection. Alright, so we're going to see here on our top right, our light is red. When we press enter, right, thank you for your cooperation, have a safe journey. So guess what, we passed our inspection, we are ready to go on. So way stations are something very specific to America that you're going to have to deal with. You don't stop here, naughty naughty, some bad stuff is going to happen, right? So you're going to have to deal with these, and I will tell you what, they will get annoying, but that is just part of trucking America. I don't know how many times I was going down the road there, and all of a sudden before I know it, I'm going in station after station after station. You know, so it really is a hard thing to, you know, to cope with, but you guys will get used to it soon enough. Alright, so we're good to hit the pavement here. We have an 80-mile-per-hour speed limit, which we're going to go ahead and cruise to, because time is money. Alright, so that pretty much covers way stations and police. Two things which you will not see in Euro Truck Simulator 2 that you're going to have to cope with in this game now. You know, and there's other things that I want to hit on, like, you know, the details. Alright, so when I worked for my trucking company, we specialize in refrigerated freight. So if you look in our left trailer there, on the edge of the corner of the trailer, you're going to see a little black box. So if, for those of you that don't know what that is that's a way for the driver to tell that how the temperatures and everything in the back of that trailer are going. Because the last thing that you want is to get to your final destination with a load of ice cream and all you got is a bunch of liquid and no longer the frozen good stuff. So that's what we have to use. So Way it normally works is if you have a green light, it lets you know that everything is going okay there in the back. And if you have a yellow, it means you should check it out. It's running, you know, but there's some kind of a function, like a check engine light. And if it's red, it means that motor's stopped. You better stop, figure it out, or you're going to have a big pile of mush on your hands. Alright, so here we are. We're looking good. Alright, take our turn wide here, cut it back in, and we are golden. And I love the look of like small town America here. You know, I mean, this really it adds to the ambiance of the game. So we look over here to our right, we have a fuel station. Looks like we're still pretty good on fuel right now. Now keep in mind, we do have smaller fuel tanks on these day cabs. We only have 150 gallon fuel tanks, so we are going to have to fuel up more often. Alright, so now on the subject of fuel stations. So the one thing that they did here that I thought was really outstanding is kind of like I almost want to say it's like a running economy. And what I mean by that is that, like, when you're delivering fuel, you're not always going to be delivering from a warehouse to a warehouse. You know, you may be picking up gasoline from a refinery and delivering it to a gas station. You know, you're not always going to be picking up, you know, frozen food from a warehouse and delivering it to another warehouse. You may very well be delivering it to a store. You know, so I mean, it kind of adds like a running dynamic to the game, which I really love, because in real life that's what it is. There's times when, you know, I pick up my load and before I know it, I have to deliver it to some small convenience store in the middle of a congested town on roads that are designed for cars and not so much here for the 18-wheelers. You know, so it's like this little things like that that I just think are absolutely outstanding as far as how they incorporated it into the game. So that's one thing that we're going to find here as we drive down, that, you know, it is pretty entertaining as far as, you know, where you're picking up and where you're going. So I just got a comment here too, like on the scenery. So like this, I love you know, this type of scenery. I've driven down these types of roads so many times. You know, it's just you and the road. I mean, they nailed the desert, you know, the way it looks perfectly. The clouds spot on, you know, when the God rays come out. I mean, just amazing. It really adds to the ambience of the game. I mean, it's just fantastic. You know, and I absolutely love it. They did, you know, a great job on it. You know, you'll see tumbleweeds and random things, you know, blowing across the road. You know, just like we see here in real life. You know, things like this, the pavement changing colors and whatnot from patches. You know, so I mean, God, it's just it's beautiful and it's great, and it really does give the feel, you know, that you're actually, you know, driving the truck through these areas. Alright, so kind of also like the way I want to run these series, you know, is, you know, if you guys have any questions, you know, you got a real trucker here, you know, and the physics and the dynamics of this game pretty much lets me, did you guys see the tumbleweed up there? You know, it lets me emulate anything that I can do in real life here in the game. You know, so if you guys know, want to know, you know, how do you back up the trailer and, you know, situation A, B, or C, you know, outlining, you know, or any general questions about trucking, whether in the game or in real life. You know, as time goes on, you know, we're going to start using trucker language and CB language. We're really going to immerse ourselves into the game and whatnot. So if you guys ever have any questions or comments, anything you want to talk about in the game, you know, you just let me know down below, and I guarantee that I'll get to it. We got to slow her down here. We're 35 miles an hour in the city here. You know, because that's what I want this to be on. And in the future, what we're going to start doing is I'm going to start bringing you guys aboard my truck. You know, and the way that'll work, you know, is that we'll jump into the team speak, you know, and for one trip, you know, we'll just sit there and we'll start talking about whatever you want. You know, I mean, it's completely up to you. So it's going to be kind of a way to, you know, to incorporate you guys and really make this our channel, and, you know, talk about, you know, the game and stuff that we want to. The last thing I want to be is another one of those guys that just sit here and just start talking at you and whatnot. I really want this to be a two-way conversation. I figure this is probably one of the best ways that we could accomplish this. Alright, so we should be coming up close to our destination here now. So same thing here. So if you're not from America, you know, and you ever get a chance to come over here, I mean, hit these roads out here and just, you know, enjoy the scenery. I mean, SCS did an amazing job. I just can't get over it. Yeah, so, and a little bit about me as far as my my driving history. So I've been driving trucks here in America for a very long time. My experience is vast and far with different type of loads and whatnot, you know. And so one of the segments I'm going to be doing in this series, you know, are, you know, tales from the roads, you know, the horror stories and the funny stories and the things that I've actually encountered out here on the road, you know, because I mean, in the end, you know, when truckers are here on the CB radio, that's all we do. We swap stories, you know, enthusiasm about the culture, because in essence, you know, trucking is a culture of driving, you know, and that's something that I really prided myself on when I was out here, you know. I mean, I was a professional driver. You know, we have this saying here in America, you know, without these trucks, America stops. And it's true, because these companies can't afford to put everything on these rail lines. You know, in the rail, they don't have a rail line going to the gas station or whatnot, you know. I mean, they really do depend on us truckers, you know, to get the freight from A to B. Alright. Oh, okay, we got the flashing light here. So this is a train crossing here. So we're going to go ahead and slow her down, and hopefully this train won't take too long. Oh, it's a single one. Yes. Easy. I'll take that any day. Yeah, so you do have different models of trains in here of different lengths, so, you know, you may not always get lucky like that. Oh, them God races. Did you guys see when we crossed over? Yes. And also take this time too to notice the cars. You know, they did not use the same models that they used from Euro Truck Simulator 2. And I really love that they didn't do that. Because again, oh, look at the sun coming through those trees. Oh, tell me that's not the most amazing shot that you guys have seen. I mean, that is just, it's unbelievable. You know, I mean, it really is. Go ahead and turn our dash lights on here. You know, so, but yeah, so I mean, these are American cars that we see here, from your classics, you know, to your modern ones, you know. I mean, right there we have a Cadillac, you know, the Oldsmobiles. You know, we have, looks like a, no, what is that, like a Chevy, it looks like almost like a Chevy Volt. You know, we got the Ford Crown Vic police cars and whatnot. You know, alright, so we'll go ahead and merge right here, and I believe we're going to be in our, yep, we're in our final destination city here. Ellie or Ely or however you want to say it. I just love the way those that sun comes through those trees. I mean, that just looks amazing. Alright, so we're coming up to our first destination here. We're pushing just over 23 minutes for this trip. Not too bad. So we'll go ahead and we're going to highlight, you know, what it's like to go ahead and pick your, you know, how you're going to back up. And for us, you know, we'll cover the other ones, but we're always going to do the hard one, you know, because I mean, I really love challenging myself, and I'll tell you what, this game does challenge me. And also another thing, since we were talking about the cars too, I want to improve on is the AI has been improved a lot in this game. You know, I mean, so, and then one thing that I noticed I think is absolutely fantastic about it is that here in America, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you know, truckers will do anything to help other truckers out. You know, so if you're going down the road and cars are passing by you and you have your turn signal on, trucks will stop. They will stop and give you right away so you can come out and get to where you need to go. Which I thought was really interesting, you know, because the first time it happened, I wasn't even looking for it. You know, I was just sitting there in one of the test platforms of the game. You know, it was going on like, okay, you know, and it felt like I was really in the game. You know, like the game was real life, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, look at that idiot got in the car accident right in front of us. It is what it is. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, this is real life. This is exactly what it's like in real life. You know, so I was like, I was really happy with the, you know, the way it came out like that. Green Cross. And for those of you that do not know, the Green Crosses are medical marijuana dispensaries. you know, these two states, California and Nevada, have marijuana legalized. So yeah, so it's, you know, a little FYI for you there. And also we're in Nevada here, one of the few states that gambling is legal in. So you see, like over here, you know, we have a casino. But I'll tell you what, when we get our first trip down to Las Vegas there, then you're really going to see some serious casinos. Alright, so these guys are all turning, so we're going to go ahead and execute our maneuver here. And here we are, our final destination on the right, which looks like it's a Walmart. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to take up both of these lanes to make sure I can safely maneuver into this. So now, I've done these ones before. And I'll tell you what, we may be in for a surprise here. Ooh, you guys see that? I almost hit the key there. So, okay. Alright, so like we were talking about earlier here, so we have 0 experience points, 15. So this is nothing. You know, let's play it safe. I call this the easy. So up here, if you have like 40 or 45 experience points, I forgot what it is right now off the top of my head, that's your medium. If you get 90, that's your hard. Alright, so if we look here, see, all they want us to do is just park it right there on the side. A very, very easy maneuver to do. Shouldn't require any backing as long as you hit it right. So now we're asking, where do you need it? Alright, so now in this particular situation, if it was a medium, they would want it right over here along the fence, right, which gives you all this room to play with. Now in this one, they want it in the dock. Now I know for a fact there's 2 docks back here, but guess what? They want it in the one closest to the building, and we have no room. So this is going to be a really interesting back for a first shot here. And I ask you guys, no, don't judge me too harshly when I do this. So I'm already going to have to reposition because I can see here in my mirror that we were really close to hitting that first one there. Alright, so fortunately I don't have that much traffic back there, and they gave me plenty of room. But I am looking over here at this rest area, so you know what? One thing you learn about being a trucker in America is you use all the room that you can get. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to use all that room. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull into the rest area here. We're going to flip it around, and it's going to give us almost a straight shot into the delivery point. So one of the reasons why they did this pick how you want it, besides the immersion at Immortal League game, is that in real life when we come to a destination, we have to check in with usually a security gate or a clerk or something like that. So this simulates that. Alright, so we'll make sure we're clear here, looking good there, looking good there, and we're going to go ahead and begin our maneuver. So I pretty sure you know that there is no good place to turn around over there. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to utilize the front parking lot here. Alright, so now here's where it's gonna be interesting. So what we gotta do is we gotta keep as much real estate here on our right hand side that we can. So I'm gonna try to do this is I'm going to try to keep the trailer as close to the building over here when we do it, which may involve a couple of jackknives, you know, to make sure that it's that we can get it in there. But that's the only way that I can think of getting this trailer in there. Now at the same time we do it, we got to keep in mind we do have a hood here on our front, so we want to make sure we don't hit any of these shopping carts here. Alright, so we can kind of start to chase our trailer, and so this is why we wanted to keep room on the right. Because you see, it doesn't take very long for you to lose all that valuable real estate. So we'll go ahead and put a little bit more angle in the trailer here. We'll take it all out again, watching out for this little station wagon. Alright. So like I said, we want to try to keep it as close to the building as possible. So now what I'm going to do is, instead of running it parallel with the building, I'm actually going to try to aim for that corner. So that far corner, that I'm going to try to aim with that for the trailer, and when I get my back tires right on that corner, I'm going to try and jackknife it so we can get right around that, right around the corner there as best as we can. Alright, so got a lot of room here, so we can see here that we're going to be really close to our goal here. So kind of give it a little bit more angle there. And as long as I can see daylight between my trailer and that building, I know I will never hit it. So I got a pretty good gap there. So like I said, space is everything and is of the vital utmost importance here. Skip parking. No, we will never do that. Alright. And so also, we're going to do all these backs from inside the view. Now, granted, in real life, you know, we get out and we look and whatnot, but, you know, so now I can simulate that by going into third-person view, but nope, we're not. Alright, so my back tires are right by the building here, so I'm going to use that as my pivot point. And watching my front here. I'm going to try to jackknife this trailer as much as we can. Alright, I really want to watch my front here. So we see the edge of the marker there. So I'm a pretty good jackknife right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start taking this angle out by counter steering. So again, watching our side over here, we want to make sure that our trailer is not going to hit the building. So there's the 2 docks that we have, 3 stars because we're on hard. Alright, so we're going to be pretty much in the right position. So now here we have choices. Alright, so the basic maneuver that you would use to move your trailer over to the left, you just got to remember left, right, left. Alright, so there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go forward here. We're going to pull way over to the left here. We may have to do this a couple of times. Lord knows in real life, I mean, we might be doing this, you know, 5 or 6 times. So we cut it all the way left. We're going to want to bring it right to straighten it back out. Alright, come on. Straight it back out, and then we're going to cut left to go ahead and straighten our trailer out again. Right there. We just jumped the curve a little bit. So we can see we're already over to the, essentially one whole lane over. Right, so normally I could say, you know, we're going to, you know, back straight up and do it all, but I'm going to do the same thing in reverse. So there's right, do a little more in there, cut it over left, and when our trailer is straight, we'll take all that angle right back out of her again. And so now you can see we're closer, so we should only have one more maneuver before we're locked in good. So we're going to cut over here to our left as far as we can. We're going to cut it back right, just like we did. And then a hard left to straighten her out. And then when we look back, look at that. That is a perfect setup for a straight back. Alright, so same thing here. Really want to put some angle into that. There we go. Now here's where the guesswork comes in. So we're doing this blind. So I'm actually using my right mirror there. Get the trailer in, gonna get it aimed right, and then we're gonna go ahead and take all that angle right back out of it. And let's see what we finish with here. Pretty close. So I'm not gonna lie, I am like a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to backing these trailers in. So I'm gonna do one more really quick small maneuver just like that. And then now we just got a basic straight line back. Alright, and that be done. Look at that, right there against the wall. No accidents, perfect delivery. So with that, we will call our first trip good for American Truck Simulator. Alright, newbie! That's right, I'm a newbie. Alright folks, so that's episode 2, the first driving one of our career and our highlight here for American Truck Simulator. I hope you enjoy what you saw, and always if you like what you see, like and subscribe below, leave the comments, any questions, comments, concerns, moans, groans, gripes that you may have, and we'll try to get them all here on the show. So this is being pre-recorded, so that way it's available to you guys on the 29th, which is when we're allowed to officially go public with our game footage here. So all the questions from the series that I get up until that point, we're going to start using to adapt in the content for the game after the 29th here, all the way up until who knows when. So we'll have hopefully a good base of questions so we can keep you guys entertained while enjoying the game for what it is. Alright, so SystemSoldier X here with the Pirate Bay gaming community. I want to tell you guys, I hope you enjoy the game. Well worth getting it. Only a couple of days until it comes out. And as always, brothers and sisters out there on the road, make sure you guys put that pedal to the metal and you lay that rubber to the road. We'll see you guys next time. Alright, X out. Hey guys, X here. As always, thanks for watching. Please feel free to comment below, and if you like what you see, tap that subscribe button. Also check out the channel for other videos and game series. Alright, till next time.